So now, using that idea, let's talk about coded photography. Coded photography is really going to get us into depths of trying to now create different ways of looking at the coded patterns, the aperture in this instance, how we can control it, and how can we embed that information to allow the camera to be able to see additional bits of information that will actually allow us to capture images. Some of this should remind you of what we did when we talked about the light field camera, right? In the light field camera, we wanted to capture more information than just the pixel information on the sensor. We wanted to capture more information about the light field that would allow us to now generate newer images. So the question now is, can we actually do a lot of this? And again, we touched on it a little bit when we talked about the light field cameras. By controlling this, how we can actually capture a novel image representation that would allow us to do more than a standard image would. We've looked at how to do this with projector camera systems for lighting control. So the coded exposure basically kind of says is we want to be able to control light that enters a camera in time by using different types of exposure controls. Coded aperture then actually also impacts how much light goes in. Remember, aperture is the opening, the size. We can control this. This one we control the amount of light goes in over time. This one we control the amount of light going in by the size of the aperture. Of course, we can control the illumination, as we know about how to do with among other things with controllable projectors. We can also do a lot of control right on the sensor itself of the camera. An example of that we have actually kind of seen also is when we talked about the camera itself, we looked at the Bayer sensor, which was actually doing coded information. Remember, the Bayer sensor basically was coding how RGB was captured at the sensor and then allowed you to read it off with that code itself, helping us figuring out how to get the right color at the pixel level. So coded photography is basically the concept. Now, how can we actually learn more about how we can code these things themselves and put them on the image representation that will allow us to showcase newer forms of images? We'll see examples of what we mean about that in a bit.